Shabbat Shalom, we've come to the very end of the year of 2017, as well as the end of the book of Genesis. As 2017 comes to a close on this last Shabbat of the year, we remember those who died in this past year. People like Fats Domino and Tom Petty, Mary Tyler Moore, Hugh Hefner, Chuck Berry, Jerry Lewis, Don Rickles, beautiful Carrie Fisher, David Bowie. Even Judge Wapner couldn't avoid the sentence. Neither could Adam West, my favorite Batman, David Cassidy. Even Monty Hall couldn't make a deal this year. And in this week's Torah portion, we find that the biblical figure of Jacob is preparing for his own death as well. Worried that his body would be worshipped by the Egyptians if he's buried by the Nile, and very much wanting to be laid to rest next to his wife and ancestors, Jacob implores his son Joseph to see that he is buried in Hebron at Machpelah, the family burial plot. He actually makes Joseph promise that this would happen. Joseph agrees, and when the time comes for Jacob's death, Joseph leads a great procession accompanying the body from Egypt to Israel. Jewish tradition places a great importance on levaya, the Hebrew word to accompany the dead on this final procession. It's in this week's Torah portion that we learn about a eulogy being described as great and heavy for Jacob. The eulogy, the Shiva, the mourning for 7 days, is all part of this week's Torah portion as well. The 7-day period of Shiva, mourning a relative's death, begins with Jacob. Despite all the great changes that have occurred in the world since this time, Jewish mourning practices still rely heavily on the words of this week's Torah portion. But what's really interesting is that even though the Torah deals with Jacob's death, the name of this week's Torah portion is Vayachi, and he lived. May the memory of all of our loved ones, those who died in 2017 or any year before that, continue to be an inspiration in our lives. May we remember them. May they continue to live and grow in our hearts. And as we come to the end of this first book of the Torah, we say, Chazak, Chazak, v'nitchazek. Be strong, and let us strengthen each other. Happy New Year. Shabbat Shalom.